Hey guys, today's video, I want to talk about why I don't believe in tier list, but I do believe in a scale. So if you guys have been on YouTube, which obviously you are, and you watch any Beyblade X content, which obviously you do, you've obviously seen things like this, right? People putting up tier lists, whether it's Reddit, whether it's YouTube, whether it's X, whether it's Instagram, it doesn't matter what the form of content you take in, you have clearly seen a tier list. Now, I don't believe in tier list. If you guys watch this channel, if you've followed this channel for a while, you understand that I don't believe that there's one, expert bay for everything. I believe that there's a scale. I don't believe there's a tier list. I think that I think tier lists are opinion based. Obviously they are. But for a tier list, for me to look at a tier list and say, I'm going to buy these blades based off of this person's tier list. I've got 3 tier lists here from some of the most popular Baytubers on this platform. So first one is going to be Zankies. He has a huge following, and I mean, he goes everywhere from F to double S, right? I've got Illinuk here, who goes from S to F. And then I've also got my friend Nizuma, who goes from S to D, right? But if I were to look at these 3 lists, and I were to say, hey, I've got to buy 3 Beyblades. And this is why you'll never see a tier list on this channel. Because if I were just getting into Beyblade X and I said, hey, a smart person, right? I want to get into Beyblade X. I don't know anything about it, but I want to go on. I've got enough to buy 3 blades to form a deck to go to my local tournament. If I watch these 3 tier lists to see what blades are doing the best versus watching my channel or some other channels, if you watch my channel, it clearly tells you, hey, base this off of the other things you've done in your life. Like if you play attack type characters in video games, get an attack type. If you play, the tank, whatever, if you play a tank, if you play a defender, whatever in another video game, please get a defense type. If you play a support role, maybe get a stamina type, right? Look at these different things. If you play a well-balanced character, try to get a balance type, right? Like try to do those things because they're gonna blend better to your play style. But if I had enough to buy 3 blades right now, based off the tier list of the top Baytube, YouTube Beyblade content creators, well, in my opinion, 3 of the best, I would definitely off all three of them have in their top tier, whether it's S or double S, Wizard Rod and Phoenix Wing. Right off the rip. Those 2, boom, done. Then we look at A or S tier, right? And then I'm looking at, oh, there's Drawn Buster in A, right? Then I go to Illinuk's got Drawn Buster in A. Zanky has Drawn Buster in his S, which is the 2nd tier for him. And let me look. Actually, Nizuma does not have Drawn Buster on here. No, he's got Drawn Buster in C tier, right? So 2 out of 3 have Drawn Buster in that 2nd class, but there's Drawn Sword, no Drawn Sword, but there's Shark Edge. Actually, if you guys don't follow Nizuma Blader, please check out his channel. I love this guy's content and I love his thought process on things. He does not have Drawn Buster up top. He does not have Shark Edge on top. He actually has Shark Edge at B. But if I go, there's Hell's Chain, and there's Hell's Chain. So if I went and bought the 3 blades that are at the top tier of these 3, it's going to be Phoenix Wing and Wizard Rod, which we all know already part of the meta, right? It's already part of that meta creep, and this feeds into that. So all 3 channels have said that those are your top ones. Then we go into Hell's Chain, which is A tier, or Zanky has it as his 2nd tier, which is S. But right there, boom, buying it. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say that Hell's Chain is super meta. I would definitely say Drawn Buster is more seen as the meta buy right now. But Hell's Chain is not your Shinobi Shadow, right? You're seeing it. You're seeing it. It's not Unicorn Sting, right? It's not a Dronzer, right? It's not Rhino Horn. It's definitely more frequent. Now, those, just based off looking at these three, if that's the 3 hour buying, based off of these tier lists, that's what I would buy. Again, that's someone who doesn't know anything about Beyblade, doesn't know anything about that, right? But where I would say the difference between a tier list and what I want to push is a scale, right? If you don't know anything about Beyblade and you're just getting into it and you've never played games before, I absolutely believe that Phoenix Wing is, it's so easy to put into your deck. It's a hyper aggressive attack type. You can switch it up. It's got great stamina if you throw it on ball. We can do a lot of things with Phoenix Wing. It is part of that meta creep, but we can do a lot of things with it. But that's why I think a scale works better, because it's easy to play. Easy to play versus harder to play, right? If we look at a scale, then people who are just getting into the game, who are maybe a little timid, right, would say, well, what are the easier blades to play and get good with quick? I think Wizard Rod and Phoenix Wing definitely fall into those. Now, remember, I've said my channel is not like these channels, because we look at diving a little bit deeper into this, into the game, right? We're going to dive a little bit deeper in this channel. But these guys, they have created this machine where they're pumping out reviews, they're pumping out these things. And while these blades may be in their deck that they take to tournaments, absolutely, they're cranking out reviews on every single blade that comes out. So, to quote Bruce Lee, I fear the man that has practiced one kick 10,000 times versus the man who has done 10,000 kicks one time. These guys are doing every single blade. They have to play with every single blade. They have to get this content out, right? I don't do reviews on every single blade because I'm putting practice in on my own blades, because I am pushing a training aspect of Beyblade, not a sales part of Beyblade. Because if I'm pushing sales and I want to generate these and I have codes and links to all of these different websites, I want you to go buy more. I want you to. And absolutely, I want you to support the stores that are supporting Beyblade X, especially the ones shipping from overseas, because that is top of the line, great stuff. And I buy from those stores. But I don't want you to feel the need to buy every single blade that comes out. I want you to put in work with the ones you like. So I think a scale ranging from easy to play with versus hard to play with. Whereas Wizard Rod, right? You throw a stamina base, you throw it on ball, you throw it on hexa, you throw it in the stadium, it's gonna spin forever, right? That's just the way this works. It's gonna spin forever. Versus if you take a Rhino Horn. A Rhino Horn would be in this harder to play. Defense is definitely harder to play. I told one of my Patreons the other day, I think that attack is probably your easiest one. I'm sorry, it wasn't a Patreon. It was actually somebody who just commented on YouTube. Again, the comment section, that is where this channel really lives. So please get in those comments, start commenting on the videos, read through the other comments, and you'll see that this community is building itself based off of bladers who want to get better. But they ask why I think that Takara Tomy is why they have such great attack blades and not great defensive blades. And I think that my answer was that Takara Tomy is trying to grab more people. Attack blades create that instant hit of dopamine to your brain that say, hey, something cool is happening here, right? It's fast. Look at the Hasbro Stadium, right? Americans have a shorter attention span. The stadium got smaller. The attack blades ramp up, right? It's happening faster. The hits are harder and louder now, right? So that instant drop of dopamine with the attack blade, whereas a stamina blade is going to be somewhere in the middle. You're outlasting, you get that hit of winning, right? Oh, my Wizard Rod outspun. I dodged, I my blade moved just a little bit and you rush right past me, or I outspun you, or whatever, you get that hit from the win. But really, when you dig deep and you drive that defensive blade, that hit is going to be way better than this or this, right? If you go, oh, easy to play, easy to win, it's that little hit. Create something a little bit tougher. You get a little bit better hit. You create something fully your personality, 100%, not the meta. You beat Phoenix Wing Wizard Rod with Drigger or Dronzer. Or, let's see, they got Rhino Horn. A lot of people putting Leon Claw in D, but obviously not Nazuma. Nazuma's putting it in B or double S. But you create something 100% your own, right? Let's see where Sphinx Cowl is in all of these. Illinook has Sphinx Cowl F tier. Nazuma has Sphinx Cowl C tier. Remember, he only goes to D, so that's like second rank to failing. And let's see, Sphinx Cowl is in C, which is really only just one up from Dronzer for Zenki. So everybody has Sphinx Cowl in a very low tier. Yet when I beat Phoenix Wing with Sphinx Cowl, or when I beat Wizard Rod with Sphinx Cowl, based off of strategy and tactics, I get a much larger hit mentally, right? Like those endorphins start running and I get happier because that is 100% me, and everybody thought I was going to lose to the easier to play blade. Versus the tier list, Sphinx Cowl on my tier would be a little higher. Now, do I think he's S tier? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just like Nazuma doesn't think that Leon Claw is S tier, right? He put him right in B tier, which is probably where I would put Sphinx Cowl if I were to do a tier. But he is very hard to play. But like just for reference, Zenki has Leon Claw like dead last, right? Down there with Dronzer. Illinook has Leon Claw not dead last, but pretty close. Let's see. I think he's got him in C tier. So, or no, he's got him in B tier. He's actually got him ranked higher, but Zenki definitely has Leon Claw like dead last. So Leon Claw is one of those outliers, right? Everybody has Dronzer dead last. Everybody has Rhino Horn dead last. But I will tell you that my 5-year-old with a Rhino Horn worked a Phoenix Wing with a stock Rhino Horn. Now, I think that one was pretty lucky based off of a stock combo and a 5-year-old, but it can be done. It's not every time you line up with a Phoenix Wing, you're going to lose. He definitely beat that person in the tournament, which was an adult, okay? So when we look at these things, I think a scale on easy to play versus hard to play versus the A to F tier would be a much better comparison and would be a better way for us to introduce people into the game. Do you want the easy to play combo, all right? Does Beyblade kind of, I don't want to say scare you, but does it intimidate you that there are all these, different blades and all that? Well, these are easier to play. Versus, how much of a challenge do you really want right now? Do you want a super hard challenge because we're going to go over here? Do you want to start somewhere in the middle, or do you want an easy to play challenge? So again, not a tier list, because a tier list is opinion based and everybody is going to have a different one, but leave this to the player, right? Give this back to them. Let them make their choice. Let them make their decision. If they start to play Sphinx Cowl, right? I think Sphinx Cowl is definitely on the harder to play list, but it took a lot of work in combo testing for me to get here, right? To get this hard one, to be able to do the things I want it to do. Again, based off of the way I play, the way I launch, my thought process, my strategies, my combo is going to be different than your combo. And even if we're running the exact same combo, I think somebody commented and said that they're running the same combo as me. That's awesome. But again, our play styles are different, right? If our combos are the exact same, it's going to come down to how did I launch? How did you launch? If you're still stuck in that fundamental launching stage, right? And you're not thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, then clearly our strategies are going to be different. So I know this is a bit longer, but I wanted to break down why I don't think that tier lists work, and I think a ranging scale from easy to play to hard to play does. Please comment below. Let me know if you like the tier list or if you like the scale, right? Let me know if you've tried to bring somebody into Beyblade and they've done exactly what I mentioned at the beginning of the video and went based off of the tier list. This tier list is how we build a meta, right? Everybody's putting out their tier list. Everybody's buying the top blades. Nobody is buying the bottom, which also helps prices because I think Sphinx Skull was super cheap. But if we do a scale from easy to play to hard to play, it's going to let people make their own decisions on what they want this journey to actually look like for them. People might be buying Wizard Rod and saying, oh, I'm going to, it's the top of the tier and I'm going to do this, that, and the other. When in reality, maybe something else was catching their eye. Maybe a Wizard Arrow was catching their eye. Maybe that fits them a little bit better. And then they wanted to build their own combo, which I would put maybe in a mid-tier playlist, right? So guys, remember, if we want people to take Beyblade seriously, we have to take it seriously. And pushing forward with the meta, not creating our own stuff, not using our own brains to think, that's not pushing these things forward. So definitely use the tier list that the other Baytubers are putting out as a frame of reference. But I would like to hear where you guys think this scale is. Who's the easiest to play? Who's the hardest to play? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the content for more stuff like this. Hey, thank you guys so much. The channel is growing at a rapid rate, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. You guys have a great day.